Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. This is going to be my first mock draft. This is going to be really raw. And this is before people get angry. This is what I believe these teams should do with their picks. This is what I believe. I'm only going to do the top 20 that stops at the Washington pick. I think 20 is just a good number to stop at. Of course, I'll eventually be doing it 32. I might do a couple of top 10s. But, I mean, the Giants are top 11. So, all of that stuff is coming soon. But this is my first mock draft. And I'm going to take it one team at a time. And like I said, if I think a team should go in this direction, then they should go in that direction. Well, let's go. So we go ahead and click draft. I've already selected all the teams I want to use. First pick, no brainer. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to immediately make the Jaguars a great team. I think that he's going to immediately turn this team around to where they're going to be picking at the very worst at the end of the top 10, probably in the teens, and they have an outside shot at the playoffs. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is really going to elevate that team, and it's about what else they can do in free agency, what else they can get him in the draft to kind of supplement what he's going to bring to the team. So first pick is going to be Trevor Lawrence. And then we got the Jets, and this is really, really interesting. They could go Penei Sewell. They could trade. I'm not going to do any trades this time. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. They could trade. They could go Zach Wilson. They could go Justin Fields. They could possibly take a receiver if they're all in on Sam Darnold and they say we need that dynamic player. I'm going to say that they're going to do what people thought that they would do months ago if they had that second overall pick. And I'm going to say they take Justin Fields. Don't overcomplicate it. Take Justin Fields. You got your quarterback of the future. Build around him, please. Don't ruin him the way you did like Sam Darnold. And let Darnold go to another team and have a shot to try to flourish someplace else. Then with the third pick, you got your Dolphins. They got the Texans pick. They really hit a home run here. And this is a pick, man. This is a pick that's really going to determine the draft. A lot of people have them taking a wide receiver here, but they kind of have two good wide receivers already. I mean, there's always room to upgrade there. But I think they need offensive line help. And I'm going to give them Penei Sewell, number one guy on the board right now. Number two prospect on many people's list after Trevor Lawrence. And he's going to go number 3. He can play tackle. He can play guard. I know they have guys there. I understand that. But like I said, he can play tackle or guard. So the worst case scenario, you just let him come in and play guard. Best case scenario, or maybe it's the worst case scenario, he plays tackle. But either way, he's going to immediately help that offensive line and give Tua, a pocket to stand in. And then we got the Falcons coming up, and you see the top player on the board, and you see, listen, Matt Ryan is a really good quarterback. But the problem is he's been really good for a long time, and it has never really translated to anything of any significance. And I think at this point, the Falcons are probably looking to move on. It won't be this year. So Zach Wilson will probably sit for a little. But I think that the Falcons are going to go ahead and take Zach Wilson, their quarterback of the future, at number 4. Now, listen, Falcons fans, some of you are probably screaming at the screen and saying, we could take Micah Parsons. We could take, there's so many people they could take. But I think that they will go Zach Wilson at number 4. If not, then Zach Wilson is going to be in play maybe for the Eagles, which would be crazy. Or maybe the Panthers get lucky and he falls all the way down to the Panthers. But I'll say for now that that's my prediction. This is what I think that the Falcons should do, is take Zach Wilson. And then with the Bengals, Now, the Bengals are a wild card. They've got a ton of receivers. Me, as an LSU fan, would love to see Jamar Chase reunited with Joe Burrow. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they need to, first off, improve that offensive line, which I think they'll do in free agency. But, of course, Penei Sewell is off the board, and you don't really want to take any of these other offensive linemen. So I say that they'll go Caleb Farley. I think they'll go Caleb Farley. They need secondary help. They need defensive help bad. That was the two problems, the offensive line and the defense. And since Penei Sewell is gone right before them, they're going to take they're going to take Caleb Farley. And then we got a trade offer. I'm going to go ahead and decline that. No trades this first time. Eagles on the board at number 6. Now, I think that the Eagles at this point would look to take DeVonta Smith and, call me crazy. But I'm thinking that the Eagles need to take Micah Parsons. I think that he solves an immediate need. He can play Sam linebacker there. They need a lot of linebacker help. And it's almost a crime to pass on Micah Parsons. Yes, they need receiver help, but they can get that elsewhere. And maybe, they have to cut so many receivers that they almost have to take DeVonta Smith or one of these top 3 receivers. But like I said, I think that they would get the most bang for their buck by just going with Micah Parsons, solidifying that linebacker spot, at least one of them. And they're going to need a lot more help there, especially with all the cap space that they have to clear up. And then with the Detroit Lions, there's a lot of talk about them moving on from Matt Stafford. There's a lot of talk about, they could go in a lot of different directions. But this is where you're going to see DeVonta Smith come off the board first. And I think that if they let Kenny Golladay walk because they don't want to pay him, DeVonta Smith is going to come in immediately and be able to replace that production. Now, he might not be the exact same type of receiver. Kenny Golladay is a 6'4", beast. Yeah, he's a monster. But I think that DeVonta Smith has the potential to be a little bit better than Kenny Golladay, or a lot better than Kenny Golladay. And I think that he can at least replace that production, which 2019 was like 1,100. DeVonta Smith, I could see maybe breaking, over that 1,200, 1,300 mark in his rookie year. All 3 of these receivers have a great shot at that. And then we have the Panthers, and the Panthers need a quarterback. And I think the only thing is, do they think that Trey Lance is worth the 8th overall pick? And, do they like Trey Lance? Or do they go and get a quarterback in free agency? I'm thinking more free agency for them. But as of right now, they don't have that. And Teddy Bridgewater he's not it. He's not going to get it done. So I got him taking Trey Lance. Trey Lance has a lot of potential. Trey Lance has the arm. He has the legs. He just needs a good coach. And if Joe Brady is able to stay there, I think he'll get some great coaching. If not, we'll see. It all depends on if they can coach him up, if they believe that his skill set can translate, because everyone's trying to find the next Pat Mahomes. It's kind of hard to find, but everybody's trying to do it. And then we got the Denver Broncos at number 9. And I thought a lot about this pick. Drew Lock has got a ton of receivers. Kwitty Paye would help them. I think he would definitely help them a lot. Offensive lineman would help them. And they could use some help. So I decided to go ahead and take Patrick Surtain here. I think that they need that cornerback help immediately. And I think that's a good value for them. I have Patrick Surtain as a premium prospect, him and Caleb Farley. And I think that's good value at number 9. And I know there's a ton of people yelling at the screen right now saying, you got 2 of the top 3 wide receivers on the board, and it's at 10. And it may be some Giants bias coming through, but I see this draft is really possible. Micah Parsons to the Eagles. This is what I think these teams should do in the best interest of their individual teams, to actually win games. Of course, someone will probably go DeVonta Smith earlier than 7, and then that'll cause someone else to come off the board. But anything is possible. This is what I just think these teams should pick. So now we're at 10, and we got the Dallas Cowboys on the board. And when I watched the Cowboys this year, the biggest problem consistently was the offensive line. And I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm going to take what I believe is going to be the best offensive tackle on the board, and I'm going to say that's Rashawn Slater. I think that he can immediately come in and be a starter for them and start to shore up that line because it has been a mess. People are getting old. And I think with a couple of additions, they can get back to playing how they usually play with that dominant offensive line. And this leaves the Giants on the board. And I know people yelling at the screen saying, you know, he's just trying to make sure that the wide receivers fall to the Giants. But this seems very realistic to me. They have the shot at going either Jamar Chase or Jaylen Waddle. And I think that they'll go with Jamar Chase. I think they'll go with Jamar Chase. He is the outside receiver. He can play inside. He can do it all. And I think they're going to go with him. He's going to immediately solve their number one wide receiver problems. And that'll be a good pick for them. Giants fans will be doing backflips. I know some Giants fans want DeVonta Smith, but I highly doubt he makes it to 11. And I really doubt Jamar Chase makes it to 11. You know, some team is going to bite just because of the receiver threat. You know, the D-Hop effect, the Stephon Diggs effect, wide receiver value is going back up. So now you're looking at number 12 with the 49ers, and they've got Solomon Thomas coming up. I think he's going to be a free agent pretty soon. They got some guys that are coming up that they're going to have to pay on that D-line. So Kwitty Paye could be a possibility here. But listen, this is my WTF pick of the day. This is the pick where everybody's leaving saying, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. But just something in me just believes that they're going to take Mac Jones. Something in me just believes that. And listen, I want to press this plus button so bad and say that they take Mac Jones because I think they need that quarterback bad. And he looked really great. Man, should I do it? Should I do it? It's between Mac Jones. Kwitty Paye is a great pick here. I don't necessarily think they'll go wide receiver. I'm going to go Mac Jones. I'm going to do it. Listen, bold prediction, bold pick. This pick makes absolutely no sense to some people. Some people think Mac Jones is a bum. I think Mac Jones, after what I've seen this year, his ball placement, I think he's gotten a lot better since last year. And I think he's actually making his receivers better. So I'm going to go ahead and reject this trade offer again. And now we're going to look at the Chargers. Let's see what they have a whole team needs thing. Don't know how accurate that is. But I know with the Chargers, that's very accurate. They're going to need a tackle badly. They might lose Hunter Henry. So Kyle Pitts might be it might be something that they look at because replacing Hunter Henry with Kyle Pitts, you don't really lose a step at all at that position. And then you got Kwitty Paye on the board, and it's like, how is this dude Kwitty Paye still on the board? That's a tough one. But I'm thinking they're going to go Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle. They need to shore up that offensive line badly. They need to. And with the Vikings, let's reject this. With the Vikings, they have their needs as NFC North. They got their needs as offensive guard, defensive tackle, edge. The Vikings, I think they need to replace that. They need a pass rush. They really need a pass rush. And this is my number one outside linebacker pass rusher. Azeez Ojulari is going to come off the board here. And listen, mind you, I do not think in the real draft that Azeez Ojulari will go off the board before Kwitty Paye. But I think that's how it should happen. So Azeez Ojulari will go to the Vikings. He will make them very happy. He will make them very, very happy. And then speaking of somebody that's going to make somebody happy, The Patriots are going to have a shot at Jaylen Waddle, which I don't think anybody believes that he's going to be there until 15. Or they're going to have a shot to take Kyle Pitts. And those are two premium receiving prospects. And I think at this point, when you have to choose between a wide receiver and a tight end, of course, the tight end is 6'6", and the wide receiver is 5'9". And the tight end isn't like an explosive receiver. And I think that the Patriots are going to take Jaylen Waddle. They'll take Jaylen Waddle in this situation. I'm going to decline this again. Decline this. And now we're on the board with the Cardinals. And they just drafted Isaiah Simmons last year. They've gotten a little bit better on the offensive line. Owusu Koramoah he's a really intriguing prospect. J.C. Horn is an intriguing prospect. But Kyle Pitts is on the board, and that looks like a great fit for them. They could use that help at tight end, but I don't think they have too many issues as far as, putting up points on offense. Kyler Murray is explosive by himself, and then adding DeAndre Hopkins helped that a lot. So let's see what PFN thinks that they need. Let's see what they think they need. Like I said, I would definitely say cornerback. Offensive tackle is a need. Tight end definitely. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to go and get them J.C. Horn. I think they need that cornerback help. Pat Pete is getting a little bit older. And their second corner, Drake Kirkpatrick, he was injured a lot. He had his issues, and I think that's going to really shore up that spot and be the first step to kind of making their defense really, really respectable, especially when they're going to get healthy next year with Chandler Jones coming back. And then at this point, we've got the Raiders on the clock at 17. And the Raiders, they don't really need Kyle Pitts. They have a great offensive line. Let's see what PFN thinks that they need. I was going to say safety, but I don't think there's a safety worth taking here. I would have gone J.C. Horn. They have them needing a defensive tackle. And listen, Kwitty Paye is still on the board. And he's not necessarily a generic defensive tackle. But I say that he's much too valuable here to pass on. And you just take him and throw him on your defensive line because Kwitty Paye to me is a top 8-9 prospect. So throw him on your line and you're good. So let's go ahead and reject this offer. And this is the Dolphins' second pick in the top 20. The Dolphins are going to have a shot at what some people think the Dolphins will take Greg Rousseau. They do have Brian Flores there who runs a really creative scheme. It's going to take a really creative person to be able to use Rousseau. I don't think they'll go Rousseau first round at all. But what I do think that they will do, they have Mike Gesicki there. Do they take Kyle Pitts? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Kyle Pitts, he was projected to go really high, and he's still on the board, and he's an amazing prospect. But I want to kind of go linebacker for them. It says that they're pretty good there. I'm still trying to learn everybody's rosters and everybody's needs. But right now they're saying that the Dolphins could go wide receiver. I think they need a slot. And Jaylen Waddle around this time, if he would have fell those extra 3 spots from the Patriots, that would have been a good pick for them. But I think I'm going to go. I think this is a great time for them to actually trade out. But I'll go ahead and let me check them one more time. Yeah, I'm thinking that I want to go edge here. Now, Jason Owe is a good prospect. Joseph Osai, I actually like better than him. And I think Joseph Osai is going to be a great piece of that defense. I think he can play a lot of regular stand-up linebacker, drop it into coverage, running and hitting, and he can rush the passer. So I think Joseph Osai will be a good pick for them here. And they have addressed the defense here. They addressed the offense here, offensive line here. So anytime you get to improve both of your lines in that same draft, I think that's a good thing for them to, you know, kind of target. And with Washington on the board, and I think I already took Mac Jones. I'm not a Kyle Trask fan. Kyle Pitts is an option, but you know, he can kind of play wide receiver. So maybe you look at him, but Logan Thomas is kind of really taking off. And I think they need to get better on the offensive line. And what I'm going to do, man, let's see. I'm trying to think of who is there at linebacker for Washington. And listen, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is a great prospect. And I think I want to go offensive line here bad because I think they need it. But at the same time, I'm going to take Owusu-Koramoah. I'm going to take him. And I think that's a good pick for them. I think they need some more playmakers on defense besides just the defensive line. If they can have a linebacker back there, you know, that just takes their defense to the complete next level. Again, J.C. Horn would have been a great pick for them at number 19, but I just don't see him there. He might be there, you know, with some of the wide receivers pushing things down. But with the Bears here, you kind of want to go quarterback. Yeah. They might lose Allen Robinson, which at that point you might want to go Rashad Bateman. The Bears, I mean, it just seems like they're just a quarterback away. And I don't really have anything that I feel like is a glaring need for them. And I don't think that there's any quarterback. They've got quarterback as their biggest need, which is hilarious. I don't see any quarterback that's really worth that pick. And even though I like Rashad Bateman a lot, I don't think that he's a better value here than Kyle Pitts. And I think for the 20th pick to round off this mock draft, I'm going to give the Chicago Bears Kyle Pitts. Huge tight end, huge target out of Florida. And he's going to make a lot of plays for them. And if they can bring Allen Robinson back, they're going to have two big targets. They can make a lot of great catches for whoever's going to be throwing them the ball. Hopefully they can get themselves a quarterback so they can really compete with that defense is amazing. Hopefully they can get it. Hopefully they can do it. And like I said, that's going to end our draft. You guys let me know what you think. We got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Penei Sewell, Zach Wilson, Caleb Farley, Micah Parsons, DeVonta Smith. Crazy that DeVonta Smith lasts this far. But I'll do some more where he goes higher, where he goes to maybe the Dolphins, or we'll mix it up. But more mock drafts coming. You guys let me know what you think of this one. And have a good one. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 Squad member. If you're a D6 Squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.